Okay. I'd like to welcome you all to the City of Warman regular meeting of council. It is Monday, May 11th, and we will start with any announcements. Does anyone have any announcements they'd like to share? Okay, hearing none, we'll move down to the approval agenda. Motion, please. Councillor Philipchuk.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the agenda for the Monday, May 11th, 2020 regular meeting of council.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Beck. All in favor? Thank you. Moving down to approval of the minutes. Motion, please. Councillor Peterson. Did I lose you? Councillor Peterson. You're muted. You're muted.
Just skip over me. I have to.
There you go.
Okay, Councillor Philipchuk.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt the minutes from the April 27th, 2020 regular meeting of council as presented.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Shram. Is there any comments, questions of the minutes? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, moving down to administration report, we have our Recreation and Community Services Manager, Paul McConaughey. Paul?
Good evening, Mayor Spence, members of council. You have within front of you my report for tonight's meeting. The only item is the proposal to open the Prairie Oasis Campground at Prairie Oasis Park as per the guidelines set out by the province. We'll adopt those with the exception that we will not be opening any of the washroom or shower facilities.
Okay, so do we have a motion for that? Councillor Jones?
Make the motion that due to COVID-19 on June 1st, 2020, the city will open the Prairie Oasis Park Campground to the public based on the medical health officer's orders and guidelines. Bookings for the Prairie Oasis Campground will commence May 15th, 2020 for the June 1st, 2020 opening. The King Campground will remain closed for the season and appropriate signage put in place at that location.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Peterson, is there any questions? Councillor Beck?
Yeah, with this here, just for the purpose of our audience or the gallery, with this here, could you just go into the reasons as to why the King Campground will remain closed as a part of your recommendation?
As part of my recommendation, with the limited staff that we have, we felt that keeping the King Center and the Prairie Oasis Park open was going to be a strain on our staff to begin with. And then it comes down to Prairie Oasis Park. You can be more self-contained than you can be at the King Center. So at the King Center, you would have communal water. The washrooms are right there and valid. So the only thing that you really have at the King Center is electrical to the sites. And so part of the guidelines from the province is that there is no communal water. So we felt it was in our best interest to keep the King Center one closed, open Prairie Oasis where they can be self-contained except for the dumping. And we'll be able to maintain and clean that dump site to keep up the half capacity.
Any further questions, Richard?
No, this year I just wanted, that there just to, let's say be stated through. Obviously with this year we did have this, let's say at our all committee meeting, but with this year I think it'd just be good for the gallery to, to kind of hear the reasons and recommendations behind it. So, no, I'm certainly good on questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Motion to file administration reports.
Thank you.
Councillor Tooley? You're on mute.
I just have to get to the motion. That the administration reports for May 11th, 2020 be accepted by council and are to be filed as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Peterson? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, moving down to council and committee reports. You have in front of you my report. It's really just for your information. Is there any questions of anything on there? Councillor Philipchuk?
Just a quick question. So it does say that a lot of the meetings have been canceled for you. Are you starting to see that some of those are starting to move to more of a video or are planned for that once you get into June?
Oh, yes, the meetings face-to-face have been canceled, but they've just changed their format. They're now all either Zoom, Skype, online. They're all, the meetings themselves haven't been canceled, just the format that they're delivered has been changed.
Okay.
So, no, it seems to be busier than usual, actually. Councillor Shram?
I wondered from your report that the AGM and others meetings are gone to the fall, and so into October, which is all into our election time. Will there be any foreseen problems with that, with us being in election mode and not being able to be in meetings and still be our voting?
I don't think so. We're not the only province that will be maybe in an election period. I think that I'm not certain at this point what that annual meeting is going to look like. They're going to, I guess, let us have all the details of that here in the coming days. I suspect it'll be some sort of online format, and it's, I think, just mainly for the election purposes. I know that there's been a lot of conversation about making sure that's inclusive, and so I think it'll be a bit of a challenge. Definitely being able to tap into every province and every member so that they're able to vote for the table officers and the different positions that are going to be there. But FCM seems to think that they're going to be able to do it. I know my term was supposed to be ending here now, and it will continue until after that election takes place. And all that, like I had meetings today, our meetings will continue just as they did prior, but they just won't be face to face. They're going to be having one in September that was supposed to be in, oh my goodness, I'm thinking the Yukon. Anyway, now it's just going to be an online meeting. So that's kind of how they're moving forward right now.
Okay.
So I don't think it'll affect councillors. You'll have to, in order to cast your vote, so you'll have to make sure that you have all the information before you have what that's going to look like. And I'm sure all that information will get out to all of the councils and all the different members of the FCM.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I guess a motion to file my report then. Councillor Shram?
I move that the mayor's report for May 11th, 2020 be accepted by council and or to be filed as presented.
Do we have a seconder there? Councillor Beck? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, council roundtable, and we're going to start with Janelle. Janelle, do you have anything that you want to report or tell us about? I know the situation has changed quite a bit for you, but is there anything that you wanted to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Janelle, you're keeping busy by taking a university course. We wish you all the best. And is there any word on any sort of festivities for grad? Is there any plans at all that you can share with us?
I know that the grads are getting lawn signs from the school and that they're working on something to still give us somewhat of a grad, but that's kind of all we know right now.
Okay, well, good luck with that planning.
Thank you.
Council Roundtable, I'm going to start with Councillor Tooley.
A couple minor things, I guess, to give you updates on. The business task force is still, as a task force group, still meeting daily, usually at a 10 o'clock meeting time frame, and then they're still having the business sort of the business sessions twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at 3 o'clock. This week, a couple of bigger events in the afternoons. Tomorrow for the call, it's going to be Doug Griffiths and Heather Thompson. Now, Doug Griffiths, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with him, but he's written the book 13 Ways to Kill Your Community. And so he's going to be giving some of his perspectives on what's going on with COVID-19 and what some of the impacts are going to be. And Heather Thompson is from the University of Alberta School of Retail. And so she's going to be part of that discussion as well. Thursday, there's going to be a panel discussion that's going to have representatives from the province and from the federal government, just talking about some of the different programs that are available and some of the different resources for the business community. Just right before this meeting, I was actually on the Chamber of Commerce, their board meeting, and just a couple of minor things came out of that. One, their executive director, Jamie, was asking about where we were at with the question that they brought forward around their rent for their space, and just asking if we made a decision on that. I let her know that it's still in discussion phase. We were going to be talking about it further at our next committee of the whole meeting. And just got a bit of an update. Last Saturday was supposed to be the Wimbexo Awards, and so that obviously has been postponed. But they are looking at ways of if in the event that event gets completely canceled, how they're still going to be able to honor and give recognition to those that were nominated and those who have received the awards. Outside of that, I don't have anything further.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Councillor Jones.
On May 3rd, we had a virtual Legends Golf board meeting. Again, most of the board attended, led by Davidson, around just some of the opening protocol, again, for May 15th, finalizing some of the decisions on how they're going to operationalize that deal. If it since then, they got some good news, moving from 20-minute intervals to 12-minute intervals for tea times, which will help the financial side of their business, so they'll have enough, get a few more folks through there. They've done a great job, I think, with thinking through how this is going to work, ordering some of the equipment they need, communicating with their membership via the email that they have with their membership. So yeah, I think they're in a pretty good spot to deal with the situation as it is. But yeah, other than the Legends Golf Course, I have nothing else to report.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Shram.
I have nothing at this time, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Peterson.
I was speaking with Niall, the president of the BMX club last week, and he wanted me to ask, and I guess I should have brought it up when Paul was on, when they might be allowed to go in to do maintenance on the track to make sure it's kept in good shape. And also he had shown me that I think he's already sent to Paul about the announcer's booth that they would like to build at the track.
Okay, Paul, did you want to talk to that, or?
Yeah, I've talked to Niall since then. So Niall has just nicely sent my direction the plans for their announcer booth, which I'll take to the next committee of the whole meeting. And we've advised Niall to basically stay away from the track, because once you do maintenance on it, then it's inviting for people to come out. So We've asked them to stay away as per the policy with the Saskatchewan Health Authority, that all indoor and outdoor recreation facilities are to remain closed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, Councillor Peterson? Okay, Councillor Beck.
Thank you, Mayor Spence. Not too much to report tonight. With this year, I have had meetings with the municipalities of Saskatchewan. All of those meetings have been in camera, so I don't really have anything to report at this time. And just around this, let's say around the community, just to kind of echo the response or the information that I had put out there last week. Last meeting there, like in regards to our green bins, they're certainly being well used, and certainly a lot of lawn maintenance going on. So I see that is a very popular feature of the community. And yeah, with this year, I know I've gotten some requests there as to whether or not the bins could be dumped more often or more frequently. And obviously with this year, we're doing the best that we can to keep up with that. So that's all that I have at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Philipchuk.
Well, just a couple things, more personal PD and just opportunities to get involved with webinars or reading books and things like that, from reading Kids These Days and going through a program called Headspace, to a couple things that were from the municipalities of Saskatchewan that tweaked my interest. So I logged into those two, one on legal. So it was the MLT Atkins, Western Canadian law firm. And they talked about refusal to work or contractual training and some things like that. So a lot of really interesting things tying into what's happening with COVID. And then the other one was looking at, there's another webinar, and it was meant to be on managing construction projects now and after COVID-19. And it really turned into a discussion about more stimulus money. It was interesting. It came out on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, all this money came out with announcements, but nothing specific. So I asked specifically about our project that we've applied for, and sent an email to Miguel Morissette, and he responded back, and it was just more to say everything's in order, everything's in place, and May 15th is going to be a decision date. So hoping for the best with that, and knowing that they're wanting to stimulate, and that was sort of the conversation that was happening. Just a point that came out there that was interesting to me was looking at the things that they would be looking for. They compared shingles to a hot tub, which is interesting, that they would be approving things like shingles to improve stuff that you currently have instead of new stuff that is brand new and around that. So they were talking about that when they were giving the overall discussion on some of the funding opportunities there. So, and I don't know if that makes a difference as we look at what we can apply for with the next round of funding or not, but just something that really stood out for me is that difference of taking care of what you've got, or, and it was the idea that, our need for more space, more recreational space with the amount of our population growth. So there's a need on that front end. It's not a luxury, it's a need. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Council. So we'll move down to correspondence, and in front of us we have some CN correspondence. Does someone want to make a motion to accept that as read? Councillor Beck?
Yes, I'd like to make the motion that the letter from CN regarding the right-of-way vegetation control was received by council on Monday, May 11th, 2020, and is to be filed as presented.
Do we have a seconder there? Councillor Peterson, is there any questions about it? Councillor Beck.
Yeah, the very last paragraph of page 2 there does certainly indicate that if there's any noxious weed removal requests, that we contact CN's public inquiry line. With this year, I was just wondering if there's anything out there that that we feel that we need to have looked at a little bit more closely for the tracks that do run through Warman.
City Manager Smith, can you comment to that?
I haven't heard of anything, but I'll certainly pass that on to Jason and Wade, because I'm sure they're the ones that would get any complaints that, and also to have a look at it. So, but I haven't, nobody's mentioned anything regarding noxious weeds to myself along the railway.
Okay, anything else from the letter? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Under other reports, we have their turbidity report. Does someone want to make a motion to file that? Councillor Tooley?
I'll make the motion that council accept the April 2020 turbidity report, and the report is to be filed as presented.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Shram, any questions about it? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Moving down to city accounts for approval. Do we have a motion, please? Councillor Philipchuk?
I'd like to make the motion to approve the city accounts as presented by checks number 22792 to 22793 and 22859 to 22946 for the total amount of $258,288.04, and the payroll vouchers numbered 10632 to 10674 in the amount of $70,573.10 for May 11th, 2020.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Shram, is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Okay, thank you. A motion for adjournment.
I'll make the
Councillor
motion to adjourn the May 11th, 2020 regular meeting of council.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Tooley? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Well, that was probably